Hi guys, welcome to another beer review, and this is a collaboration that I'm very excited for, and I think it was a sort of like a two-time collaboration, even though the breweries have collaborated before, and of course it is between the wonderful folks at Cloudwater and the wonderful folks at Track, who are neighbours in Manchester. The whole area around, well, towards Ancoats. I never really know the proper name of it. But yeah, you could just spend the day just by the railway arches in Manchester and have a good drinking session. Manchester's just, it's always been my favourite city, but I've just found myself in recent months just going there on a somewhat regular basis on days off. Just going around having a few drinks, going to new places that I've never been before, and discovering this whole new world. And yeah, it's just Manchester. No matter what you throw at the people at Manchester, no matter what happens to that city, good or bad, I don't think you get that sense of coming together, unity, and sharing the good times like you do with Manchester. It's just culturally the greatest city in the world. The people are the best people you will ever meet in the world, and you'll have some absolutely wonderful drinking experiences. So, as well as dedicating this video to you guys watching the review, and of course to my beer brothers and sisters all over the world, I'm dedicating this beer review to the beautiful people of Manchester. And yeah, what more can I say without gushing on incessantly? But yeah, so a two-part collaboration is what I was supposed to say. One beer brewed at Cloudwater, and then the other being brewed at Track. Of course, this is the beer brewed at Cloudwater with the signature can and the wraparound label. And this is called New Things and New Tidings, which is, and I'll read the back of the can. One pair of collaborations with our good friends and neighbours at Track Brewing. This New England IPA was brewed at Cloudwater with a West Coast IPA brewed at Track. We added a 24 gram per litre dry hop charge of Nelson Sauvin and Citra, and used London fog yeast along with flaked oats and wheat for a modern hazy juicy IPA. And then yeah, yeast, London fog, aroma hops, Nelson Sauvin, Citra and Chinook. The malts are Golden Promise, flaked oats, wheat, dextrose. Bittering hop is Pilgrim CO2 alpha extract, and the beer is clocking in at 7% ABV in the absolutely stunning 440ml can with artwork courtesy once again from Textbook Studio, who it's just a beautiful looking can, and I hope that this lighting and video quality does it justice. But yeah, I'm trying to think where I picked this up from now. I think I picked this up from Northern Beer Temple in Wigan. I was hoping on picking up a bottle of the Track collaboration, but last time I was in Manchester, I couldn't find a bottle. So I think it's been really popular, and I was going to pick up a bottle for my good friend Craig at Kent Beer Reviews and potentially get some live review action. But do you know what? Track Brewing, for me personally, are at this point probably my favourite brewery of the year, and Cloudwater have yet to disappoint me with any of their beers. And I know they're all about the the double dry hopped, the juicy, like pulpy IPAs and pale ales and double IPAs and all that wonderful stuff. But I think Cloudwater brew some of the best Helles style lagers outside of Germany. So, two breweries whose reputation precedes them. And yeah, I'm sure that this is going to be a damn good beer. So, it's got the 3 dates on there. So, canned on date is the 31st of May 2018. Freshest date is, of freshness levels, the 25th of July 2018. Still got to get used to this system, but I think it's a good one because it's given the consumer much more information. And then the best before date is actually the 19th of the 9th, 2018. So it's had a little bit of age to it, which I can't remember. I know Craig from Cloudwater Reviews has reviewed this one. So I don't know if there would be any like green astringency or burn on the back end, but I'd imagine that it has mellowed down if so. But I don't know if it's had that issue or not. But what I've heard is, without people going too much into detail, is that this is absolutely a wonderful beer. And yeah, so I've waffled on for way too long. I do apologise. And yeah, it's an absolutely gorgeous day today. Not too warm, which is good. And I can smell the beer from here in the can. So, using my to-go glass, I would have used my Cloudwater glass, my second Cloudwater glass, but somebody else broke it this time. So that's twice I've had a Cloudwater glass for like less than a week. The first glass I broke in Manchester within hours of purchasing it because I got a little bit too drunk. And then my second glass, which I also purchased from Cloudwater, became my favourite glass because of the shape and you know, you get glassware and it just fits, much like this. When I first saw this style of glass, I was like, is that really going to work? But when you hold it, it's just so nice and comfortable. But anyway, yeah, so I wake up one morning and I hear a smash downstairs. And I just knew in the back of my mind that, well, there goes my Cloudwater glass. Lo and behold, I get a text not more than an hour later saying, sorry, I've accidentally smashed your glass. Not only did they smash my Cloudwater glass, gonna leave names out of this, they also smashed my Augustina glass, which is also a replacement glass because I've had 2 Augustina glasses smashed. One I left in Germany. So I just have no luck with glassware. And yeah, anyway, who cares? We're all here about the beer, and just look at that. That, to me, on camera, actually looks like unfiltered grapefruit juice. It's like I've been drinking, and then I want to try and sober up a bit, so I've actually put juice in my glass. It just looks absolutely fantastic. Do you know what else it reminds me of? Keeping that German connection as I cover my own face in a video. It reminds me of Schufferhofer, the grapefruit radler. It just looks so big and juicy and chewy, and it just looks sensational. Haze for days. It's got a nice little bit of turbidness to it. It's got that sort of like powdery, chalky look as well, but no head to speak of. But yeah, it just looks sensational, and I wish I wasn't going into work today because I could have a proper session on some beers like this. But yeah, it just looks fantastic. So let's see what we get on the nose. Hit my lip then and it hurt, like I was banging the top of my teeth because I was just going straight in for it. It's not a pungent beer. It's not like slapping you around the chops or, you know, grabbing you by the scruff of the neck or anything like that. But it's just so warming and appetizing. I mean warming as in like you warm to it, not as in it makes me feel warm. It's approachable, but still full of character. Beautiful, mellow, fruity tones. Fruit bowl, tropical fruit salad. Peach, mango. I had a pack of Starburst for the first time in years yesterday at work, and I'm reminded of that, like, vibrancy, but not in like a synthetic way. It still baffles me that we can get legitimate fruit aromas and flavours from a hop. It's amazing, and this just smells so lovely, mellow, cushiony, pillowy. Like, I want my room to smell of this beer. Anyway, smells absolutely wonderful, looks great, and I'm sure it's going to taste just as good. Cheers. that's just so fluffy in the mouth. It almost melts in your mouth. It's so creamy and bold, but without being heavy. Just like the aroma, I'm not being smacked around the face like you sometimes get with this style, which I've got no problem with, by the way. And it's not even like a different strokes, different folks, different strokes. That's the way it's different folks, different strokes, not the opposite way around. I think it's amazing how different you can make this style of beer. And my perception of like the New England Vermont hazy style IPA has changed so much, because when it was becoming really popular outside of America a couple of years ago, I was still living in Germany, which is that way apparently. I haven't made a joke like that for a while. But when I was in Germany, breweries hadn't really started to do these sorts of beers. I mean, they're doing them now. I mean, you've got the likes of Fullscreen, Frau Gruber. I think even Yankee and Kraut have done a hazy style IPA. So, Hanscraft and Co. done an absolutely beautiful one. And like BRLO are doing those sorts of beers. So breweries are doing those beers just as much as other breweries around the world. But when I was in Germany, these were like new, and I'd come to the conclusion where I don't need to worry about like the hype beers, because you're not going to be able to get each and every beer, even from the same brewery a lot of times. So the sort of like pressure to keep up like sort of faded. So I'm like, I don't think I knew that I'd love these beers because I'd had some fantastic examples that were sent over to me. But it was like at the same time, it's like, if I get one, I'll drink it. So when I came back to the UK, I tried to keep that mentality of not like indulging in these styles of beers, so they still had that like feel of speciality. My use of words today is terrible, but you know, I wanted to have them like special. So every now and then I'd have like a New England style IPA, like Juice Bomb, fruity, light and stuff. But now I'm feeling the same way, like diving balls deep into this style of beer than I did when I was like trying to make it a little bit special. So I am nowhere near getting burnt out on these beers. I don't know what point I'm trying to make right now, but this is a beautiful beer. It really, really is. We're just going to leave what I said there. So I've wasted about 3 minutes of your time talking about utter nonsense. But this is what these sorts of beers do. It's just soft and gentle, but still packed full of flavour. It's got the flavour like some innocent smoothies, just without that like really creamy texture. But it doesn't need to have like that creamy texture, because the body that it does have is soft and pillowy, but yet bold. So it still carries those flavours beautifully. Alcohol is masked wonderfully in this beer. Yeah, it's just two amazing breweries coming together. I say coming together, they just literally go a few doors down and they're right there. Hey, come on. Living in Manchester city centre and you have this on your doorstep. I need to get out of small town Skelmersdale and finally get myself a semi-decent job in Manchester so I can get a flat. Doesn't have to be fancy, it could be on the outskirts, but Manchester for me, not just for the beer, but you'd always have something to do. Do you know what I mean? There'd always be somewhere to go, something to see, people to meet. And then you've got the cultural history, and then, yeah, I could go on. I think people who watch my stuff regularly are sick to death of me talking about Manchester. And I think I've talked about Manchester more than I've actually talked about this beer. But it's bloody tremendous. But yeah, it's just fruity, but mellow and indulgent. And you can lose yourself in it. And the great thing is, it actually has a hop bitterness, which is something that I do miss from some of these like fruit-forward hoppy beers. I do miss getting that sort of like that bitterness on the back end, which lets you know that it is still a beer. But yeah, this is something that I could. It's one of those ones where if I had it on tap and I was staying in that one place for like a couple of hours, it's one of those beers that I'd like. I'm just going to stay on this because it's absolutely beautiful. Lovely grapefruit flavours. It really is reminding me of like an IPA version of Schufferhofer grapefruit. And it's just all coming from that hop and the malt build. It's amazing how well these breweries can just come out with beers like that. Look at that, I don't know if you can see that, but the little bit that I've put in there, it's like it's actually cascading in the glass. It's just, this is just coming from hops, and it's got the creaminess from the malts. And Cloudwater are like, they are up there brewing this style of beer, and Track are just brewing some of my favourite craft beers. So the two breweries coming together. I just wish I could have got that West Coast IPA, because I want to see more breweries doing these like hoppy yet resiny, slightly sweet caramel West Coast IPAs. So yeah, hopefully I can still source a bottle or find it somewhere on tap. But this is just wonderful. He says as he nearly drools it down himself. Yeah, I think it's safe to say, ladies and gentlemen, this is a 10 out of 10 from me. No harshness, no greenness, but lovely bitterness on the back end. It's accessible, but still full of character. So if you're getting into this sort of stuff, great beer to get into, the style. But if you love the style, then you really can't pick out any faults with this beer. And I can't say that I'm drinking it at its optimal age, but I've no complaints whatsoever. And if this tasted better, fresher, and if this tastes better a little bit longer down the line, then I need to try that. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, like I was saying before, I don't have that pressure with these beers anymore. But I'm not getting burnt out by the abundance of these styles of beers, because the UK are just knocking these beers out beautifully and doing a great job. And this is another example of that. So that's why this beer review has nearly gone on to 20 minutes. One of the best collaborations that I've had this year. And I don't really have enough beer left for a decent thumbnail, so I've got to do some wizardry. Look at that, man. You could just see like the cloud formations in the glass itself. Anyway, I'm going to stop because I've waffled on for way too long. Like I said, if any of my friends and fellow beer tubers have reviewed this one, their links will be down below. Check out both Cloudwater and Track. I'm sure most of you guys are a big fan anyway. Yeah, Manchester, I love you guys. Every time I go there, it's so bittersweet because I'm like, I have to go home. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, fantastic stuff. And yeah, so if you've tried this one, then let me know your thoughts, opinions. How do you think it compared to the other collaboration that they've done? Obviously, two different styles, but yeah, that would have been good to do a session of both of them. So if I can source either beer again, then you may see another video. But I highly doubt that. But that being said, I'm sure there will be plenty of beers down the line from both breweries that will be covered on the channel. So check out both Cloudwater, check out and track, as well as both playlists and my Haze for Days playlist. And yeah, thank you for sticking with me for 20 minutes. It's going to take me absolutely ages to upload this on my shitty internet. But you guys are worth it, and so are the beautiful people of Manchester. Thank you all for watching, and hopefully you'll join me next time for a potentially briefer beer review. But who knows? Cheers. Don't wink, Peter, please.